Hello, welcome to the Press and Dakotan's weekly video newscast. I'm Kelly Hertz, editor of the Press and Dakotan. This is Nathan Johnson, who's the city editor of the Press and Dakotan. And we're here to start off today talking about a pretty big city issue, which is going to be the water treatment plant options, which we thought was a bit of a done deal, but apparently not.
Yeah, they got a presentation on this back in March, I believe. HDR, the engineering firm that they've hired to look at different locations, gave them their findings on 4 different sites, so the costs and what it would take to build on 4 different sites, and those included just adding on to the current water treatment plant number 2, which is
located at the foot of the Meridian Bridge.
Correct, in Riverside Park.
Yeah, on the east side there.
Yep, and then just north of there, across the street, across Levy Street, and then also Paddle Wheel Point, which is where they're currently planning to build a collector well. And then there's the East Industrial Park, which is where like Dakota Trailer is, Yankton Area Progressive Growth is building a spec building there. Those are the 4 different locations. And at the time there was discussion among some commissioners about building other than at water treatment plant number 2, because there's some concern, that riverfront is precious and we want to use it for kind of cool, probably recreational things or other business development rather than water infrastructure. Mm-hmm. But the problem is once you start moving the plant, the costs get steep really fast. Now you can move it to the north for maybe $1 million more, but if you moved it to Paddle Wheel Point, you're looking at $37 to $43 million. And
now this is total, not above.
This is total, yeah. Because you're looking at the add-on to Water Plant 2, it's going to be $28 million, they estimate. And then the East Industrial site would be about $45 million.
Okay.
And so I guess my understanding is Commissioner David Knopf requested to have it brought back to the commission tonight, even though at the time there was no appetite amongst the commission to really discuss it more. I mean,
actually, more thirst among the commission.
Yes, yeah. There were a few that wanted to discuss more, but it wasn't enough they weren't going to get anywhere with it. Mm-hmm. So that's why we thought it was just a dead issue, and by default, city staff would proceed with building at water treatment plant number 2.
Okay. Now, this is sort of a long-range issue. We've talked about this before, that this is something that Yankton's going to have to be living with for generations to come. And so I guess what you're looking at here too is what is Yankton's vision for riverfront development, and does this doesn't derail it, but does it crimp it a little bit, especially on the west end of Riverside Park, which is getting more and more usage all the time?
Yeah, and I think that is the tact we'll probably hear tonight, is that yes, today this would cost us a lot more, but if you look at the fact that this plant's going to be here, I mean, we're still using water treatment plant number 1, which was built in 1929, so that's over 80 years that that's been in existence. You're looking at a long-term future investment there, so why not look at it over time rather than just today?
Okay.
Why take the cheapest route today if it doesn't make sense for your long-term vision? My guess is what we're going to hear tonight.
Okay, they can, and I think you mentioned this on your blog, that they could do some things with, if they build the water plant at its current number 2 at its current site, that they could do some things to make it more than just a brick building.
Yeah, that's what I've personally advocated, that if you are going to build it on the west side of Riverside Park, there are other entities that have used these infrastructure buildings to do cool things, whether it's water features, special gardens. You have a place over in the Netherlands, I believe, where they have a recycling plant that is going to be a ski slope. So I mean, you can do interesting things, and I don't know that it would necessarily cost a lot more to do something like that, to make it an attraction and not just a square building.
Okay, well, we look forward to finding out what happens there, and just follow the press and Dakotan, and you can learn to keep up on that issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is James Smith. This is Jeremy Hoyt. We're now continuing with the sports portion of our weekly newscast. And Jeremy, you were down at the Nebraska State Track Meet this past weekend. Got to see Crofton win another girls' state title. Kind of interesting with the Crofton girls sports this year. 3 state titles, another trip in a 4th sport, and I believe they only sponsor 5 girls sports.
Yeah, I mean, it's just getting, it's ridiculous almost at this point that the Crofton girls weren't really expected to contend. You know, you and I figured they might be top 3 in Class C, but I don't think anybody thought they would not only win, but win by 14, 15 points. And it's just that group is just part of their nature. Is, you know, we're going to go down there and we're going to come home with the title. There's just no two ways about it. These girls are committed to winning, and you know, a couple relay titles. The Crofton had 6 girls at state. You know, a lot of these other smaller schools have 10, maybe 9 or 10. Crofton has the podium. They had 6 girls, and one of them was a relay alternate. So they had 5 girls competing. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's not the number; it's just the quality of their kids, and these are top level kids.
Well, yeah, and we had a lot of other schools in our area that had some quality kids. One of note, of course, Austin Hagee from Wausau scored 38 points by himself at the state meet, and just a great way for him to go out.
Right, and he won the 100-meter dash, the 200-meter dash, won the long jump, and then on Friday, the first day of the meet, he was 2nd in the triple jump. So that's 3 first place, that's 30 points plus 8 for 2nd place. I mean, and Wausau finished 4th in the team race, and right behind Hardington, the defending champion, and Hardington took 3rd. So there's a lot of quality athletes in our area just across the border.
And speaking of quality athletes, the South Dakota State meet going on this week. Sioux Falls and Madison on the opening day, all at Howard Wood on Saturday, and a lot of great seniors for Yankton going to finish their careers there this weekend.
Right, and you and I were just talking about the fact that Yankton's track program, they've been looking to climb the ladder in AA, and I think this year will be probably proof of that. You know, not so much in the standings, but in the number of points. You know, you and I are figuring them to double their output from last year, which says a lot for this group, that these kids, some of them are new to track, and they took it up and they were committed all year. And I think that probably shows us a trend that you know, the program is getting back where they want it to.
And really Class A, Class B, a lot of great kids as well. We're looking at in Class B, several teams maybe not winning a state title, but being in that top 4 and being on the podium at the end of the day on Saturday.
Right. Parker, boys and girls in Class B, they were the combined team champions last year. And of course, you really, you know, pre-meet rankings, you know, things change. You know, certain finishes don't play out the way that we think. But the way it looks, Parker boys will be, we think pretty competitive in Class B, and the girls will be right there in the probably 2nd to 5th range. And you know, they've got a pretty good shot at repeating the combined team title.
Yeah, and if it's not Parker, it could be Freeman, who
Right.
swept the region that included Parker a week ago.
Right. Yeah, and of course you've got the Irene Wakanda boys. They have some kids that'll do fairly well, and so I think you and I are pretty blessed, and our readers are pretty blessed in our area that we've got a lot of competitive and successful track kids.
And follow that coverage in the Press and Dakotan and online here over the weekend. Again, I'm James Simrick. He's Jeremy Hoyk. Thank you for watching.